In the cold hours before sunrise, when the world is quiet enough for truth to whisper, a single pair of headlights cuts through the fog on a deserted country road. Behind the wheel is a man everyone in town knows yet almost no one respects. A man who has learned to keep his head down because life rarely lifts him up. His name is Daniel Karenga, and this morning, someone is about to push him beyond his breaking point. What no one knows, not the town, not the authorities, not even the man who is about to, humiliates him is that Daniel is on a mission that could change everything. But first, he will be mocked. He will be underestimated. He will be stopped. And the truth he carries will hit harder than anyone expects. Daniel's truck, if you can even call it that, sounds like metal begging for mercy. The muffler drags, the right headlight flickers, the door barely closes. But Daniel drives anyway, because this isn't about him. Then, blue and red lights explode behind him. Officer Nathan Briggs steps out, laughing loudly. Pull it over, champion, before that thing falls apart on the highway. Briggs is decorated, respected, and feared. A man who loves making examples. Daniel's hands tremble as he pulls over. Step out of the vehicle. Mechanic Briggs mocks, or do I need to tow the whole scrapyard with me? Daniel says nothing. He's used to men like Briggs, used to humiliation, used to being treated like a problem, never a person. But this morning, silence costs time, and every second lost means children go hungry. Briggs circles the truck like a predator, savoring the moment. This, your idea of roadworthy? He barks. You planning to kill someone? Daniel swallows hard. I just need to get to the shelter. Sir, please, I don't have time. The officer bursts into cruel laughter. The shelter. What? Delivering rusty screws and broken dreams? Daniel doesn't respond. Only he knows what's in the back boxes. He struggled for weeks to fill milk, rice, bread, and supplies for 30 orphans who rely on him every Friday morning. Briggs sneers. Pop the back? Let's see what you're hiding. Daniel hesitates but complies. The moment Briggs opens the truck's back door, his smirk fades. Not stolen goods, not contraband, but neatly stacked boxes of food. What is this? He demands. For the kids at Glory Home, Daniel answers quietly. They haven't eaten properly in 2 days. I'm already late. Briggs scoffs. You expect me to believe that? And he laughs again, a deep, dismissive laugh that slices into the cold morning air. But then, his radio crackles. Unit 3, we need assistance at Glory Home Orphanage. Cook collapsed. Kids haven't had food since Wednesday. Repeat emergency conditions. Briggs freezes. Daniel watches him calmly. Sir, the food in the back is the only meal they'll get today. For the first time, Briggs sees the truth. Not the broken truck, not the poor mechanic, but the man standing in front of him with a purpose stronger than pride. Without a word, Briggs closes the truck door gently. Follow me, he orders, but this time, not unkindly. Daniel hesitates. I'm escorting you, Briggs adds. And so the officer, who mocked him, now leads him through the waking streets with lights flashing. A police escort for Daniel. People stare from doorways and windows, shocked. When they arrive at the orphanage, children rush out, cheering Daniel's name. They cling to him, tugging his clothes, helping unload the boxes. Briggs watches in stunned silence as real heroism unfolds before him, not loud, not powerful, but steady and selfless. The head caretaker approaches, shaking her head. If he didn't come today, some of them would have gone hungry until night. Briggs turns back to Daniel, humbled. Daniel, I'm sorry, he says, the words heavy and unfamiliar on his tongue. Then he pulls out his ticket book, rips the citation in half, and hands Daniel something different, a personal card, a promise to fix the truck, and a commitment to support the orphanage weekly. Today, justice isn't delivered by law, but by revelation. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones nobody notices, the ones who drive broken cars, wear faded clothes, speak softly, but their hearts move mountains. And sometimes the powerful must be humbled, so they can finally see the heroes standing in plain sight. But just when Daniel thinks the worst is over, and Briggs believes he's corrected his greatest mistake, a black SUV stops across the street, tinted windows, engine idling. A man inside watches Daniel unload the last box and whispers into a phone. He's making deliveries again. Tell the boss, the problem is back. Because Daniel's mission isn't just feeding children. There is a secret tied to that orphanage one. Someone powerful is desperate to bury. And now, they know Daniel is getting too close. The moment Daniel picks up the phone dropped by the intruder, the screen flickers with the last message sent. He knows. End him. His pulse thunders in his ears. It confirms everything he feared. This wasn't random, wasn't impulsive, and wasn't just about the orphanage. Someone with power wanted him gone. Permanently. Briggs returns, breathless and angry. The intruder escaped into the darkness, but Daniel silently holds out the phone. Briggs reads the message, jaw tightening until it trembles. Daniel, we're past threats now, he says quietly. This is attempted murder. The caretaker limps toward them, clutching her bruised arm. They were looking for the ledgers, she says. The records of donations from 4 years ago. I hid the oldest one. They didn't find it. Briggs' eyes snap to her. Where is it? She nods toward her office. Daniel follows her inside. The small room is in shambles, papers scattered, drawers ripped out, cabinets overturned. But she walks to a bookshelf still standing, pulls out a dictionary, and opens it. Inside is a thin, worn ledger. Daniel flips it open. At first glance, it looks harmless. Lists of donors, amounts, dates, but then he sees the signatures. One name repeated dozens of times. One donor contributing more money than anyone else, yet none of it ever reached the children. And that name is familiar. Officer Briggs enters slowly. Daniel looks up at him, the ledger trembling in his hands. Briggs, he whispers, voice tight, your chief? Briggs stops cold. A long silence fills the room. My chief, he repeats, barely audible. Daniel nods. He signed off on every transfer. Money meant for these kids. Stolen? For years, Briggs takes the ledger with shaking hands. It feels heavy, like a judgment day he didn't see coming. His voice is rough when he speaks. He's the one who ordered the break, the threats, the sabotage. He's been laundering orphanage funds. Daniel thinks of the cut brake line, the SUV, the men in black, the caretaker injured, and suddenly, every puzzle piece locks into place. Briggs closes the ledger. Daniel, I need you to listen very carefully, he says. If we expose this, the chief won't go down quietly. He has influence, connections, but this, he lifts the ledger. This is enough to bring everything crashing down. Daniel meets Briggs' gaze. For the first time, he sees not the stern officer who mocked him, but the man he truly is, someone who believes in justice, even when it hurts. What do we do? Daniel asks. Briggs answers without hesitation. We end it. They leave the orphanage under the weight of danger and truth. Briggs drives them straight to the station lot, to the front entrance, but the back, where no cameras watch. He leads Daniel into an empty office and locks the door. Briggs places the ledger on the desk and records a statement, detailing everything, the break-in, the tampered truck, the stolen funds, the threats. Then he hands the recorder to Daniel. Your turn. Tell the truth, every part of it. Daniel takes a deep breath. His voice trembles at first, but grows steady. He speaks about the children, the hunger, his deliveries, the warnings, the night someone tried to kill him. When he finishes, Briggs uploads the recordings and ledger, scanned straight to the National Anti-Corruption Unit, bypassing the chief, bypassing the entire local chain of command. Once they receive this, Briggs says, the chief loses all control. Outside, they hear shouting, heavy footsteps, doors slamming. The chief bursts into the station, flanked by 2 officers loyal to him. Briggs whispers, he knows. Daniel swallows. What do we do? Stand tall, Briggs says. You earned that right. The chief storms through the hallway, face twisted with rage. Briggs. In my office, now. But Briggs doesn't move, for the first time in his career. He stands up to the man who built the entire department around fear. It's over, Chief Briggs says. The files are already sent. The chief's face shifts from anger to panic to cold. Murderous calculation. You think anyone will believe a mechanic and a disgruntled officer? They don't have to, Briggs answers, pointing behind the chief. They'll believe them. Federal agents stand in the doorway, armed, stern, silent. The chief spins, stunned. What? The lead agent steps forward. Nathaniel Briggs, Daniel Karanga. Step aside. Two agents pin the chief's arms behind him. He thrashes, shouting, "You think you're heroes? You think anyone will thank you for this?" Briggs leans in close. "No," he says, "but the kids will eat tomorrow." The chief is dragged out, screaming as the entire station watches him fall. And in that moment, Daniel realizes something. Justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it drives a broken truck. Sometimes it comes from the very man who once mocked you on the road. The agents take Daniel's statement. They take the caretakers. They take the records. And within hours, the scandal spreads beyond the town-sparking investigations, revealing years of corruption and freeing the orphanage from the grip of greed. When Daniel finally exits the station with Briggs by his side, dawn is breaking. The world feels lighter, the air clearer. Briggs turns to him. "Daniel, I owe you an apology for everything." Daniel shakes his head. "You helped. That's what matters." Briggs smiles, honest, humble smile. "Let's get that truck fixed," he says. "Those kids will be expecting you." And for the first time in a long time, Daniel laughs. Not because life is easy, but because justice won, because the underdog stood tall, because the powerful fell, and because Hope Real Hopi is finally on the children's side.